a shattered illusion, my journey through deception and renewal. My name is Nadia, and this is the raw, unfiltered account of how my world crumbled after I entrusted my heart to a man who hid his true self behind a facade of charm and devotion. If I had glimpsed even a fraction of the darkness lurking beneath his surface, I would have run far and fast, never looking back. At the outset, he appeared as the embodiment of every romantic ideal, gentle, ambitious, and overflowing with vows of eternal love. Yet, as the layers peeled away over time, I uncovered a betrayal so profound it nearly destroyed me. Allow me to guide you through the labyrinth of my life, from the intoxicating beginnings to the agonizing truths, and finally to the hard-won freedom that followed. This isn't just a tale of heartbreak. It's a testament to resilience, a reminder that even from the deepest wounds, we can emerge whole. The spark that ignited it all. It was a crisp autumn afternoon in the bustling heart of Istanbul, where the air carried the scent of roasted chestnuts and the distant call of seagulls from the Bosphorus. I was 25, freshly graduated from university with a degree in graphic design, and attending my best friend's birthday celebration at a trendy rooftop cafe overlooking the Golden Horn. The venue pulsed with energy, strings of golden lights swaying in the breeze, laughter echoing against the skyline, and the clatter of plates laden with meze and baklava. I felt alive in my flowing sapphire blue dress, my dark curls cascading freely as I chatted with old classmates and sipped on mint tea. That's when I first spotted him, Amir. He was leaning against the railing, gazing out at the water, his silhouette sharp against the fatting sunset. Tall and broad-shouldered, with neatly trimmed beard and piercing hazel eyes, he exuded an air of quiet mystery. He wasn't mingling much. Instead, he seemed content in his solitude, occasionally glancing around the crowd. Our eyes met briefly, a fleeting connection that sent a subtle thrill through me. He smiled faintly, but didn't approach. I shrugged it off, immersing myself in the festivities, dancing to the upbeat Turkish pop music and sharing stories with friends. Yet, every so often, I'd catch him watching me, his expression thoughtful, almost intense. He didn't join the group dances or engage in small talk. He simply observed, as if memorizing the scene. An unexpected connection blooms. 4 days after the party, my phone lit up with an unfamiliar number. The message read, "Hello, Nadia, I couldn't take my eyes off you at the rooftop that night. Your energy lit up the entire place. I'd love to chat if you're open to it." My curiosity piqued, I responded. "Who is this?" The reply came swiftly. "Amir from the birthday bash, the one by the railing. You were unforgettable in that blue dress." A flush crept up my cheeks. His directness was disarming, yet there was an underlying warmth that drew me in. I paused, fingers hovering over the screen before typing, "All right, Amir. Let's see what you have to say." What followed was a cascade of conversations that unfolded like a beautifully scripted novel. We texted incessantly, morning greetings laced with poetry, midday shares of funny memes, and late-night deep dives into our aspirations. Amir revealed he was a software engineer at a rising tech firm, passionate about photography and travel, with dreams of exploring the world hand in hand with someone special. "You're not like anyone I've met, Nadia," he'd write. "You have this genuine spark, a way of seeing beauty in the ordinary." I opened up too, sharing my love for art, my close-knit family, and my hopes of starting my own design studio one day. It felt effortless, natural, like we'd known each other for years. By the 7th day, his messages took a bolder turn. "Nadia, this might sound impulsive, but I can already picture us building a life together. Marrying you feels like destiny." I stared at the words, a mix of amusement and intrigue washing over me. We'd barely scratched the surface. "Amir, we've only been talking a week," I replied, adding a laughing emoji to soften it. "I get that," he shot back, "but sometimes the heart knows before the mind catches up. Just consider it." I promised to cherish you every single day. His conviction was magnetic, pulling me into a whirlwind of emotions I hadn't anticipated. Deep down, a part of me wanted to believe in this fairy tale possibility. The rush toward forever. 3 weeks later, under the golden hues of a setting sun in a serene park by the sea, Amir proposed. We had met for our first in-person date, a picnic he'd meticulously prepared with fresh simmet, olives, and say. As we sat on a blanket, waves lapping nearby, he pulled out a delicate gold ring adorned with a small sapphire. Nadia, you've captured my soul in ways I can't explain. Will you marry me and let me prove my love every day? His voice was steady, his eyes brimming with sincerity. My pulse thundered. Logic screamed caution, but my heart whispered yes. Overwhelmed by the romance of it all, I nodded, tears of joy streaming down my face. Our wedding was intimate yet enchanting, held in a historic mosque courtyard with lanterns casting a soft glow and the air perfumed by blooming roses. I wore a flowing ivory gown embroidered with intricate patterns, feeling like a princess as I walked down the aisle. Amir stood tall in his charcoal suit, his smile radiant. Our families beamed with approval, my parents whispering how Amir seemed so grounded, my siblings teasing about our love-at-first-sight story. Friends raised toasts to our future, and I truly believed I'd found my soulmate. That night, as we danced under the stars, he held me close and murmured, "This is just the beginning, my love." Blissful beginnings and subtle shadows. The initial months of marriage were a honeymoon haze. Amir was the epitome of a devoted husband, surprising me with handwritten notes tucked into my lunch, planning weekend getaways to nearby coastal towns, and calling me my eternal light. We'd spend evenings cooking together in our cozy apartment, experimenting with recipes from his travels, or cuddling on the balcony watching the city lights. We talked endlessly about our dreams, adopting a pet, traveling to Europe, and starting a family. "I want our children to see what real love looks like," he'd say, kissing my forehead. But by the 4th month, faint cracks began to appear. One rainy evening, as we lounged on the couch, I noticed him engrossed in his phone, a secretive smile playing on his lips. "What's so funny?" I asked playfully, leaning over. He jerked the device away, his expression shifting to annoyance. "Nothing important, just an old friend from work." He locked the screen abruptly and changed the subject. I felt a twinge of unease but dismissed it as paranoia. After all, trust was the foundation of our bond. Over the ensuing weeks, the secrecy escalated. He'd step out to take calls, his voice hushed behind closed doors. His phone was perpetually on silent, face down on the table. Once, when my own battery died and I asked to use his for a quick call, he hesitated before handing it over, hovering nearby like a guard. "Why so protective?" I teased lightly. "Privacy matters," he replied curtly, a edge to his tone I'd never heard before. I let it slide, not wanting to ignite an argument, but the seed of doubt had been planted. The arrival of Joy and the widening rift. Life blessed us with children sooner than expected. First came our daughter, Zara, with her tiny fists and infectious giggles that filled our home with warmth. 2 years later, our son, Karim, arrived, his curious eyes mirroring Amir's. They became my anchors, my reasons to push through any storm. Motherhood transformed me. I juggled freelance design work with diaper changes and bedtime stories, finding fulfillment in their smiles. Yet as the family grew, Amir drifted further. He'd arrive home late, citing endless meetings and project deadlines. "The company's expanding, I have to pull my weight," he'd explain wearily. Weekends that once belonged to us were now consumed by emergency work trips. When he was present, his mind wandered, fingers tapping away on his phone during family dinners. Our intimate conversations dwindled to logistics, who'd pick up groceries, whose turn it was for bath time. I confronted him multiple times. "Amir, we're like ships passing in the night. What's pulling you away?" I'd plead, my voice cracking. He'd sigh, pulling me into a half-hearted hug. "It's the stress, Nadia. The promotion race is brutal. I do this for us, for the kids' future." His reassurances rang hollow, but I clung to them, desperate to preserve our family unit. Deep down, loneliness crept in, a silent companion in the quiet hours after the children slept. The devastating revelation. The turning point came on a stormy Thursday night. Amir had stepped into the shower, leaving his phone charging on the nightstand. It vibrated insistently, lighting up with notifications. Something, call it a mother's intuition or accumulated suspicion, compelled me to glance at it. The screen was unlocked, a careless oversight on his part. What unfolded before my eyes was a nightmare scripted in pixels. Messages from a woman named Lena flooded the chat history. "Miss you already, darling. When can we meet again?" One read, time-stamped from that afternoon. "You're the only one who understands me," another professed, accompanied by a heart emoji. Scrolling back, my breath caught photos of Amir with her, cozy dinners in hidden cafes, weekend escapes to mountain retreats, even family outings with her children. Lena wasn't anonymous. She was a colleague from his office, divorced with 2 young sons, 8 years his senior. Her life had been marked by hardship after her ex-husband's abandonment, and apparently Amir had stepped in as her savior. The timeline was gut-wrenching. Their affair predated our meeting, stretching back to before the rooftop party, through our whirlwind courtship, and persisting unabated into our marriage. He'd funded her vacations, helped with her son's school fees, and whispered endearments like my true soulmate in messages he'd never graced me with, all while claiming financial strain at home, skimping on anniversaries and family treats. "We need to budget," he'd insist, as he lavished on her. My world spun. Knees buckling, I collapsed onto the bed, sobs racking my body. The man I'd built my life around was a stranger, his love a meticulously crafted illusion. The stormy showdown. Amir emerged from the bathroom, towel around his waist, only to freeze at the sight of me clutching his phone, tears staining my cheeks. "Nadia, what are you doing?" he demanded, his voice laced with panic. I thrust the device at him. "Explain this. Years of lies, Amir, before we even met." My words erupted in a torrent of anguish. He crumpled, sinking to the floor. "It's not as bad as it seems. Lena and I, it was complicated. But I love you, Nadia. The kids need us together." His pleas devolved into desperate bargaining. "I'll end it. Therapy, anything, just don't leave." I paced the room, fury and heartbreak colliding. "How could you betray us like this? Our vows, our family, were they all a joke?" He hung his head, mumbling excuses about feeling trapped, seeking escape. But no apology could mend the chasm he'd carved. A heart-wrenching separation. That night, I couldn't bear the suffocating air of our home. I bundled Zara and Karim into the car, driving through the rain to my brother's apartment across the city. For days, I existed in a fog, appetite gone, sleep elusive, my mind replaying every red flag I'd ignored. Shame enveloped me. I confided sparingly, even to my brother, fearing judgment. "How did I not see?" I'd whisper to myself in the mirror. Amir bombarded me with calls and texts. "Come home, Nadia, I'll prove I'm worthy." My family, rooted in tradition, pressured reconciliation. "Think of the children," my father urged. "Men make mistakes, forgiveness strengthens bonds." Torn between cultural expectations and my shattered trust, I returned after a month, hopping for redemption. "One last chance," I warned. "For Zara and Karim." False hopes and final betrayal. Initially, change seemed genuine. Amir attended family therapy, cooked elaborate meals, and showered us with affection. He deleted Lena's contact in front of me, vowing transparency. For 3 months, harmony reigned. We laughed during park picnics, shared dreams anew, but illusions shatter twice as hard. One fateful afternoon, while running errands, I spotted his car parked outside a quaint tea house. Peering through the window, there they were, Amir and Lena, hands intertwined, lost in conversation. Rage surged as I confronted them later that evening. "Again, after everything." He fell back on familiar scripts. "It was a goodbye meeting. You're irreplaceable, Nadia, the perfect mother, my rock." But his eyes betrayed the lie. That was the breaking point. I realized his remorse was performative, his patterns unbreakable. "I'm done living in shadows," I declared, filing for divorce the next day. The process was grueling, court dates, custody battles, asset divisions, but liberation beckoned. Rising from the ashes. Divorce finalized, I relocated to Ankara for a fresh start, securing a position as a senior designer at a vibrant agency. Zara and Karim stayed with my parents initially, their tearful goodbyes piercing my soul. "Mama will come for you soon," I promised, channeling grief into building stability. Months of late nights and determination paid off. I rented a sunny apartment with a garden, enrolled them in school, and created routines filled with love. 2 years on, I'm not the wide-eyed girl from that rooftop. Scars remain, but they've forged armor. I've rediscovered passions, painting late into the night, joining a women's support group, even dadding cautiously. Zara and Karim thrive, their resilience mirroring mine. Amir sees them on weekends, but our interactions are civil, boundaries firm. To those who have journeyed through my story, thank you. If it echoes your pain, know this: betrayal doesn't define you, it refines you. Like, subscribe, and share if it moved you. We rise not despite our scars, but because of them. Here's to new chapters, written in our own hand.